don't know, I'm Kira858. I normally do art streams. However, I'm a big fan of D&D. I've been playing D&D ever since I've been watching it. I think like a year or so ago, from Critical Role. I've been able to meet different individuals, and so I've been waiting for a long time. Skeleton Man's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 says Pog. Yes, indeed, Pog. But it's okay. Everything's good to go now. So we're going to be having our first D&D campaign here on the stream. It's called It's Our World, where we're also going to be starting our episode 1. But at the same time, there is some back history that kind of happened off stream a couple of sessions before, and we're going to actually place that on a YouTube channel. So therefore, y'all can be able to see what actually led up to this moment. So you've been playing D&D for 2+ years. Has it been 2 years? Wow, that's actually been a while. Okay, but I didn't really think about that. I definitely thought it was a bit quicker. But Kentons, for those who don't know, was actually one of my first friends and people I actually played D&D with at Game Empire here in San Diego. So we've been friends for a minute. So we just want to give a quick heads up. So first, of course, we're going to have everybody announce themselves. So of course, their Twitter handles, their social media handles. We're also going to be going forward. We will be commenting on chat, but I hope you all will be able to chat and have a great time and discuss what things going on. We just want to make sure that we kind of like stay in the moment. I mean, we might comment in chat from time to time, but if we don't respond to things that are staying in chat, that's kind of the reason why we'll be role playing during the moment. I think other than that, yeah, that's kind of like the main aspect going on. So I'll take it to Zach, so Zach can take it away. I guess we'll start with him first. Have him announce himself, and Fell Flames, and talk a little bit about himself. And I'm going to change the music a bit.
Sure. I am Felled Flames, or Zach. Hello, and welcome to It's Our World. We're going to be playing a sandbox-style D&D adventure tonight. I will be your DM. You'll probably find out more about me as we get into this. So I will just go ahead and start turning it over to the players to talk about themselves and let you know about their characters.
So based upon screen, I think the first person that comes up after me is Nezra. So Nezra, if you'd like to talk about yourself, go ahead.
Sure. Hi, my name is Aaron. I'm a American, but I'm living in Southeast Asia. So you can find me. I'm Wanderer Text or Wondering Aaron on Twitter. And I'm playing Nezra, who is a completely normal human and a completely normal cleric. I'm actually the newest person here, so I don't know a lot about the other characters yet. We're still getting to know each other, but I'm really excited.
Fantastic. And next we'll give we'll announce Ree, who is playing Nuvia. Ree, if you'd like to talk about yourself.
Of course. Hello, I am Ree. You can find me on Twitter at BigDudeRee. I will be playing Nuvian, the absolutely regular elf monk who is perfectly reasonable and I hear very easy to excite. And I look forward to telling a fun story with my fellow players here.
Yes. I would say about 50% of that is true, but nevertheless, we're going to go ahead and start working our way down the bottom. We'll start off with Serena, aka Mizzy. Mizzy, you'd like to talk about yourself? Please say you. Oh, you're on mute. You muted yourself.
I was muted. Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Mimsy. I'm also Morgan, whichever. I'll be playing Serena. She is my tiefling battlesmith artificer. And I am very nervous.
Perfectly understandable. Yeah.
No, but I want to have a lot of fun here.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Mimsy has been a prominent member in chat. She does quite a bit of commission artwork as well as other content for TTRPGs. She's also in quite a few D&D games that I play in. So she's all around just a fantastic individual. But this is, I think, the first time a couple of these individuals is streaming for the first time. So it's gonna be some nice, interesting experiences as well as possibly some growing pains, like the technical difficulties. but nevertheless, of course, these things happen. And last but not least, we have well, of course, I have to talk about my character as well. But we have Achilles, aka Adrian B, who, when I announced his artwork, seemed to have received a bit of a fan base as people was referencing the character as relatively sexy. But nevertheless, we'll go ahead and allow you to talk about Achilles.
Hey guys, I'm Adrian Bear, and I am playing Achilles. He is a fighter and a bit of a wizard, and he is just all-around lovable kind of guy. And he is also the first blind character that I'm ever playing, so it should be a whole lot of fun. And he has a wonderful little familiar who is this little spirit fox by the name of Catherine, and she's just adorable and goes everywhere with me. You can find me on Twitter at WolfmanJessup, and yeah, I played with these people for a while now, and should be a hell of a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
Fantastic. And of course, I am Kira858, and today I'm playing the little munchkin over here, ICARA. ICARA, for those who don't know, who you kind of see within the image, he is a half elf, half dragon character, usually from the custom lineage, Tasha's the Book of Everything, I think it was called. Absolutely fantastic book, by the way. If you all have not purchased that book, definitely give it a check out, because it's well worth it. He's like I said, he's 11 years old, and he is a monk of the Ascended Dragon class. So you'll be able to see that live at full effect here on the stream. And so yeah, that's Kira858. That's myself. With that said, we could go ahead and now move forward to the session. Fell Flames, take it away.
So, the party has been traveling from a sort of trade epicenter along the road called the Crossroads, making their way to Bastion, which is the sort of well-known metropolis city within the world that we find ourselves in. And right now, you all are coming up to the gates of Bastion. You can see that the city has wooden walls that have been constructed seemingly all the way around it. And there are, from what you can tell, about 8 people who look like they're probably guards of some sort. They're all wearing like chainmail with leather sort of trousers or pants. And over that is a purple tabard with sort of a familiar looking tower symbol, lacking AC. And that is what you all see immediately about the city as you're coming up to it. Even from coming down on the hill and just looking at the gate, you can tell that this is a very large city for those of you who haven't been here before.
What time of day is it, Zach?
Probably about 4 or 5 hours after sunup. You're kind of finishing the last leg of the journey here, coming into town. Plenty of daylight, plenty of stuff left to do, and trouble to get into, of course.
The city is much larger than I was expecting. It appears our work will be cut out for us, ICARA.
Yeah, I don't really know how we're going to find our cousin in here. It's huge.
Yes, well, that is a problem for later. And he will turn to Nezra. Do you know where you were supposed to be delivering your message?
Oh, yes. I am going to be heading towards the Temple of Tyr in order to find the High Cleric, Yermgier.
So then we shall continue to follow, assuming you all are still interested.
Any who want to come with me are welcome.
I want to go.
Sure, I'll come. As long as I don't burst into flames.
Why would you burst into flames?
Has that happened to you before?
No, but let's hope it doesn't.
Well,
Ah,
I mean,
I see.
if you do burst into flames, I'm sure we can, do the whole stop, drop, and roll thing and just put you out. Like, it shouldn't be too much of a trouble. But you're from around here, aren't you, Serena?
I am. I'd rather not talk about it, but let's head to your temple.
I mean, that was quite suspicious and wonderful. I'm in favor of not talking about it at all. That is fine. But what was on my mind is do you know of a good place we can stay while we're here? Like, or Nezra, would we be getting lodging at the temple? Is that something that's possible? Or?
Well, I mean, I was only sent to deliver a message. I personally am not a member of this temple, so I don't know that we could ask them for lodgings.
That's fair.
But certainly, I'm sure that we could ask these lovely guards for their recommendations on where we can stay. I'm going to make my way towards whoever looks to be in charge.
There's no one that you can see who truly looks to be visibly in charge. No one really has been taking like command or anything. They're just sort of randomly stopping people that are coming by, and having a word with them. As you approach, you start to overhear conversations about why are you coming to the city? What is your business here? Are you a resident? Okay, if not, where are you from? That's the type of conversation that they seem to be having with everyone. But you don't see any sort of dress that would indicate a higher rank from amongst one another, and none of their personalities really assert themselves as like a figure of authority amongst the other ones.
Do any of their personalities look like the opposite of a figure of authority?
I'm gonna say yeah. There is probably two of them who sort of you would observe to be treating the process a little bit more lazily than they otherwise could.
I'm going to head towards them.
Okay. So you go up to one of the guards, and he's like, "Yeah, hello. Name's Dave. What are you doing here?"
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, Dave. I'm Nezra, and I was hoping that you could give me some directions. I'm looking for where the Temple of Tyr is found, and maybe some good lodging nearby.
Yeah, I've been hoping for a lot of stuff too. That's great and all. So anyway, what brings you to Bastion?
Oh, it's the Temple of Tyr, actually. I was sent with a message from Captain Marigold Forerunner from the Crossroads.
That sounds like a fancy title. I don't
Archibald.
care. So, the Temple of Tyr is going to be across from the residential section. It's going to be over where they keep the Capitol building and some of the more prominent buildings of the city. That's where the High Lords are located. Just, it's the biggest buildings. Just, you can't miss them. So, do you have like papers or something? Like where are you coming from? Is the priest expecting you or whatever?
I would imagine that the captain would have let him know that I'm coming, but papers. I don't know that he would have given me anything similar to that.
Yeah, okay, you're good. Go on ahead.
Thank you. You've been most helpful. And everyone, we're heading towards the big building.
I think I'm starting to notice a trend in these folks.
Wait.
Yes,
And
David.
He points at Serena. He's like, "What are you doing here? I don't believe you're going to a church." I mean, if you are, that definitely sounds like an interesting story, and I'd like to hear about it.
Well, I'm here with my traveling companions. I am accompanying them to this temple, and we're going to see if I burst into flames.
I'm honestly not entirely certain she's going to go through the door, but she has been invaluable in getting from Crossroads to Bastion.
If she does burst into flames, can you come tell me? Because that would be mighty interesting.
You are the very first person I would tell, David.
You know, this is my life, everyone.
If it helps you, I believe that you will not burst into flames, Serena.
Thank you, Nubian.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Enjoy your stay. Any inns or lodging will be in the market area.
Do you have any recommendations? I mean, a
Stay.
place that you enjoy going.
Man, I got a house. It's like 100 square feet, but it's it's a house, so I don't really need all that, honestly.
There's somewhere we could buy you a drink later for, to get to know you better.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a great idea. I'll be at the Yawning Tail.
The Yawning Tail. I look forward to meeting you there.
Sounds good.
Serena, are
As
you
as we're sorry, as we're walking inside, I will say the Yawning Tale. Does that mean like they have a really boring bard there, like he tells things that's just going to put you all to sleep when you listen
We
to him
can
tell stories?
only hope.
I've noticed this country, or at least these first two cities, do not put a lot of stress on security and the people who work for them. Is that normal?
Yeah, the guards.
Blessing of peacetime, I guess.
I suppose so. I worry about the people should these men be expected to lay down their lives, but perhaps it is unfair for me to make such assumptions.
Yeah, the guards kind of reminded me from the guards in Crossroads. They're kind of similar. He didn't really seem very enthusiastic. Serena, are you in trouble?
No, I'm not in trouble. Don't worry.
Okay.
You know, I was thinking, if you're worried about bursting into flames, do you think maybe you could install some kind of, I don't know, hose or something into Cog that, like, if you did burst into the fire, you could just shoot out a lot of water and just douse you real quick?
Yeah. She's gonna like take out a journal and write down. Read down. It's like, yes, thank you, Achilles.
Yes, I suppose in preventing yourself from being caught on fire would be very effective.
Considering
Achilles, are you sure that these are the type of people you want your brother to become more like?
Well, you know, Captain Margerold was definitely a lot more impressive, for sure. And if I can get the wee lad into that, well, I suppose I shouldn't call him a wee lad anymore. He's 14, you know. And in my parents' time, that was young enough to get married, to be honest. But you know, I think if I could get him into that academy that he mentioned, that might be a bit more promising. I hope than becoming, well, whatever that man Dave was doing. I'm sure he was doing a respectable job. I hope.
Marjorie did seem to think that it would be better if your brother, was it, came to the academy sooner rather than later.
I know, like, but the thing is, I just don't want him to rush into anything too quickly. You know, I know he has his mind set in this, and I think that's wonderful to have a direction and a purpose. And for all I know, it could be his calling. But I think as much time as he can get with the family before he heads off is probably going to be more beneficial, I hope. But at the end of the day, if he does make a strong enough case and decides, hey, I'd like to go earlier, well, you know, he can convince her dad of that one.
Family is a blessing. We're walking as we're going to the big
Yeah.
building.
So, someone go ahead and make me a perception check or investigation. So someone can roll at advantage for the party as you all are trying to make your way through through the city.
I can make the roll if you guys are okay with that.
Sure.
Sure.
ICARA will help.
Sure.
All right, then with advantage, I rolled a 19.
Okay. You're able to find the district that has the political and religious leaning institutions relatively quickly. They're all pretty large, and so like it takes you a little bit to start finding things that look akin to a church, because to be honest, they all look pretty similar, and it's a large city. So there's an awful lot of them, and there's a lot of people going in and out of all of them. But you managed to spot a couple of priests relatively quickly, and there's no sign on it, just a symbol of the god Tyr, which you're eventually able to track down.
Yes, I believe that's the place over there, is it not, Nezra?
That does look similar to the seal or the... I don't exactly know. He just told me look for the High Cleric Tyr. Yeah.
Can I ask, as we were walking, did I catch any snippets of town conversation?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
15?
Yeah, certainly you heard some stuff. Mostly normal like political work sort of stuff in this area. Talking about, ensuring to get the appropriate paperwork, talking about how the High Lord's secretaries are, demanding more funds, and they're needing to try to figure out how to rebalance some of the tax rates of the outlying villages in order to accommodate the new budget. It's honestly very, very like normal, boring, like ledger and paperwork sort of stuff. That's typically what you overhear in this area of the city.
Okay.
Well, I am not exactly a man of religion, but if you all are prepared, shall we?
ICARA kind of.
I might stay outside.
Do you
How
really
do you feel
think?
about that?
Do you really think you're going to bust into flames?
I don't know. Everybody kind of keeps talking about it. Now it's making me more nervous.
I have never seen anyone burst into flames from walking into a temple. I'm certain it's fine.
If it makes you feel better, sir, I will do everything in my power to get you out of the temple before you catch on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been told I am quite fast.
Mm-hmm. How about we just take one step in, and then we'll see if there's flames erupting, and then if there's no flames, then you can keep walking. But if there is flames, we have to go back. Maybe.
Hey, 1 foot. That's it.
Mm-hmm. 1 foot.
Then the other.
I'll take out a water skin just in case.
Okay.
Nezra is completely unworried, so I'm going to just, if is there anyone at the door that would stop us, or can we just walk in?
Mm-mm.
All right, I'm just going to stride in then.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Not bad. 16.
So one of the things that's most notable to you is that all of the clergy members that you're walking by, the priests and clergy members, seem to be wearing armor underneath their vestments.
I don't know, would I be familiar enough with how temples are generally set up to be like, okay, this way is probably like the altar in the sanctuary or something, and offices might be off this way, or should I flag someone down to ask?
It's up to you.
I will flag someone down. I'm a friendly person, so I'll just go up to anyone who seems like I wouldn't be like desperately interrupting what they're doing because I'm trying to be friendly.
Yeah, there's someone who has like a cloth, and he's basically like wiping off the pews, and he's like, "Oh, hello, pleasure to meet you. I'm Brother Gerald."
Brother Gerald, I'm Nezra. The pleasure's mine. I'm hoping you can help me out. I was sent with a message to deliver to the High Cleric, Yurmgier, and I was hoping that I could request a very brief audience in order to pass this along.
Where's this missive coming from?
Captain Margerold? I've mispronounced his name 3 times now, so I'm not really certain if I've got it right this time.
Just say something different every time. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Name's
Captain Name.
It's Margerold, yeah.
Margerold,
But yeah, he tells you, well, if you have a message to deliver, I certainly won't be getting in your way. Let me see if I can fetch him for you. And he sort of like gives the pew that he had been cleaning another good like 2 brushing it off. And then he steps up and he returns probably about 2 minutes later with a man who is in plate armor and has a golden sword strapped to his hip. Like you can see the scabbard is completely either gold leafed at the very least or golden. And he comes to you and is like, "Hello, I've heard that you have a message for me."
Oh, High Cleric, it is an honor to meet you. I'm Nezra. Captain Margerold, just one moment, and I'll dig to my bag and get the message out and hand it over.
Ah, thank you. He kind of like unrolls it, and he reads probably about the first 3 or 4 lines or so, and then he closes it and is like, "I'll be taking this in my office." And then he just starts to walk away.
Is there anything you needed from me? No? Okay. It was a pleasure.
And he doesn't say anything. You can go ahead and give me an insight check.
Yeah.
I also do an insight check.
I'm going to say this is for Nezra.
25.
You weren't really told what kind of message you were meant to be delivering, but there's like a spark of, you would probably call it fear when he starts reading from his message. And that then like whatever he saw seems to have spooked him a little bit. And that's when he decides to go take the note and finish reading it privately. That's what kind of strikes you as odd, like a man wearing full plate mail and a sword strapped to his hip with a flash of fear in his eyes. Not the most common of sights for Nezra.
Is Brother Gerald still there? Gerald?
Yeah, and he actually does address you. He's like, actually, if you're looking to help out, I do have something.
Dusting. I mean, I'm fairly decent at dusting if that's what you require. But...
Oh, no. Something else that just doesn't really fall into my personal skill set.
I'd be happy to help.
Really?
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, should I say no? I feel like you're kind of giving me mixed messages here.
No. It's just adventurers. I just, in my experience, they have a tendency to start. How much is it worth? Where am I going? You know, what sort of spoils might I find there? You know, and so it's kind of odd for someone to just be like, yes, I'd love to help. I'm not angry. I'm just surprised. But anyway, I'm getting besides the point. One of the people of our church, her name is Celia Murner. She and her husband make up one of the many lesser nobles of the city, and have historically been quite generous with us when it comes to donations to keep the church operational. She has, as of yet, been unable to get help from the city guard, but but one of her daughters, who is already of age but unmarried, has gone missing.
Oh, dear.
I don't know all of the details. Certainly, if you speak with her, she should be able to give you more. But because she's of age, the guards and unmarried, the guards refuse to investigate as they're firmly convinced she's just run off with some man.
Hmm.
Has she been known to be I don't know, friendly with any of the lads around?
Molasses.
Not to
Or-
my knowledge,
yeah.
but I suppose that'd be more a question for her mother than me. I certainly wouldn't know.
Absolutely honored that you would consider we could help. Where would you find House Mirner, you said?
Myrner.
Mirner.
Well, it should be in the residential area, towards where all the noble manors are. They have a more humble one there, but you should be able to recognize the household name. And let me see if I can draw the crest for you. And he goes and spends a few moments to actually go and fetch like some paper and a pen and an inkwell, and he starts drawing for you, and you end up getting a sort of like an ink drawing of an anchor that looks like it's had some rope sort of like wrapped around it, basically, and going up from the loop at the top of the anchor, it's hanging from like a sail post. So it's like a drawn wooden post that has, instead of a like a sail hanging off of it, this anchor.
Can
laced
I
with rope.
ask a retroactive question there? When the high cleric came in and such, so you mentioned his armor and everything. As a smith, a blacksmith, would I be able to know if this is what they're wearing is just ornamental, or actually like, yeah, these people could cut a bitch if they wanted to?
Go ahead and roll me go ahead and roll me a d20 and
Mhm.
add your proficiency modifier as you're proficient with smith's tools.
Okay. Could I also add the int modifier to that as well?
In this case, I will say no.
Okay.
More of a raw check in this case.
That's just an 8.
It's hard to tell.
Okay.
Certainly, you believe you could figure it out. Were the man willing to take off all of his armor and allow you to personally inspect it a bit more closely? But from what you know, the ornamental stuff and the real stuff tends to mostly be different in terms of quality and the time spent honing the edge of the blade, versus visibly distinctual. When it comes to like these high priest sort of types, the difference is really lost on them.
Can I ask, Brother Gerald? Sorry, I see that everyone is dressed rather defensively, if I can put it that way. Is that normal for around here?
Oh, it depends.
Can I insight check that to see if he's trying to like be a jerk, or if he just like doesn't know or doesn't understand what I'm asking?
You can roll, sure.
Serena, are you feeling hot at all? I think you're muted.
No, I'm not, thankfully.
As far as you can tell, he genuinely believes what he's saying. Whether or not he's saying it to be a jerk, and give you a non-answer, that's a little harder to tell. You'd guess based on like how he's comported himself so far and the genuine compassion that he showed for this this woman who's a member of his church. You would imagine he's probably being genuine.
Well, did anyone have anything else they need to do in the church before we take our leave?
No.
Well, is there?
Prayers to be said or something? I don't know.
Very, very often. What about you all?
No,
Is there anything usual, Brother Gerard, that one would do to sort of pay respects to Tyr in here? I mean, I'm not particularly a follower of him, but if we are in Tyr's church, I imagine it would be nice to pay respect.
You've done enough in your conduct thus far, and I would consider it a personal favor to the church to be going to speak with Lady Myrna anyway, so there's nothing else that I would ask of you at this time. I think you have shown good faith already.
What is the symbol for Tyr? Like, or his alignment towards?
Fist or something?
I can't remember. Like, I was thinking it's either a fist or like a hammer, and I couldn't remember.
I think it's like a combination of both. Hold on.
Tyr's the even-handed, right? Might even be scales.
He has like a super lot of names.
Yeah.
Because you are a deity, you do not go by only one name.
Mm-hmm.
His holy symbol is a sword, or a set of scales resting on a warhammer. That's probably what you think. The scales and the warhammer.
Okay.
I think the fist might be Helm.
But
I
he's
thinking of Helm.
Yeah, he's a lawful good deity.
Before we do go, I do have a question for you. Are there other missing people in this city?
Oh, there's thousands of people here. Hardly. I can't say that I would know, honestly, but Lady Myrna's daughter is the one that I'm only personally familiar with, at the very least.
I see. If you hear of other missing people, could you let me know if there's a person very dear to me that I'm searching for?
Yes, suppose that I could. Where will you all be staying if I do need to send a message to you?
I believe they referred to it as, what was it, the yawning tail? Or something?
Possibly. It was one of the places that we were recommended by a guard.
The yawning tail?
Do you have a different recommendation?
Anywhere else, really, if you ask me. That's, what might they call it? Politely, a den of inequity.
Well,
what does that mean?
Where would you recommend that somewhere near House Myrna?
Wait, what does that mean?
Oh.
I think that's a walk and talk conversation for after we've left a holy place.
Oh. Okay.
Nuvian will take care of that one.
He looks up at Nuvian, like kind of confused, like he just scratches his head. He's like, okay, I guess so.
Well, if I were to give you a personal recommendation, on the more expensive side, probably the Gilded Table. If you're looking for somewhere just a bit more comfortable, there is a place called the Rope Homestead.
Got it. Thank you so much, Brother Gerald, whatever your name is.
Gerald.
Would you happen to know someone named Celebi?
Please hold. No idea. Is that a person?
Mm-hmm. That's my cousin.
Very important person.
Mm-hmm. We're trying to find
Your cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I don't suppose that I've heard of anyone named Celebi, but, I will, let you know, as it were.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I look forward to meeting you again, Brother Gerald.
I just told you.
I can't. The problem is, I write them both the same way, so I look at my notes and I go, ah.
I need to just start forwarding you all notes with the broken down like pronunciation.
You can put it in IPA. I would really appreciate it.
Yeah. He says, well, it was nice meeting you all as well. I appreciate you looking into this, and it won't be forgotten.
It's our duty to help
Take
when
our
we
leave.
can.
As we're heading out the door, Achilles will say to everyone, "So we're definitely staying at the Yawning Tail, right?"
Well, I don't know. The rope homestead sounded kind of nice. I don't think we're quite gilded table material, to be honest, but
But Jerome said we should have stayed there. But he wouldn't explain why he would have stayed there.
You see, lad, a den of iniquity can be many things to many different people. Like, it could be that maybe this particular church frowns on gambling, for example, or maybe this particular church frowns on people having a good time and sharing a few drinks and sharing a few laughs and getting a bit rowdy. It could be that there are, shall we say, there's a profession in the world that's quite old where sometimes people need companionship, and they allow themselves to work as companions professionally. So it is entirely possible that this Yawning Tail Tavern has some of these professional companions that work there. And I don't understand why people look down on these folks. I mean, everyone needs to make a living, and you do what you can with what you've got.
Oh.
Said it better myself, Achilles. We all have our paths in life. No path is better than another.
well said.
Serena's gonna pout a little bit though. It's like, I wanted to hear Nubian say it.
Yes, well, shall we go and look into this missing person?
Maybe we can table where it is based on where in the city we end up.
That's a good plan, actually.
Did you need lunch or something before we go to?
I do not
House.
eat very much. Are
Murder.
you all right?
I think I'm
Are
good.
you all feeling hungry?
I am fine.
I'm good for now.
In that case,
hungry.
I will dig
Achilles,
into my pack as we walk and just eat like a ration bar or something. So I'm like, it is noon.
Yes. Well, it is. I have noticed a few strange things. The temples normally that well defended.
Are you asking me?
So I assume all of you would have better knowledge. We do not have very many churches in the monastery. We tend to focus more on the self.
Could I make a religion check to see what I know about Tyr?
Sure.
Can you do it with advantage? So I don't have to roll it?
Fine.
I mean, I will roll one if you want it.
That's much better. 16.
It depends. They have a bit of branding in the sort of sword of justice department that sometimes leads them to be a little bit more martial than some other clerics. But it's hard to say.
I mean, the thing is that...
Sorry, go ahead.
The thing is, I know they're a little bit more martial, I guess, as far as Tyr goes, but it's kind of hard to say. I mean, the man's symbol is, that sword and the scales, like, so it stands to reason they'd be into keeping themselves in shape and defending themselves.
It's rather odd that they seem more better kitted out than the guards that we saw.
Maybe I should try and convince my brother to try and, I don't know, become a paladin or something like that. That might suit him better.
Or a cleric? I mean, Urim Gier is the High Cleric of Tyr, so if you want the fancy
True.
plate armor.
Serving
true.
the gods is a noble path. There was something else that was said that is bothering me to an extent. The desire, the request for coin, is that normal here before every request?
Oh, you mean when he asked for us to help him and then was surprised when I just was like, hey, sure.
Yes, that's not the normal way of doing things.
Don't know.
Which is very strange.
I mean, it's not normal for me.
That's what happens to the people who are unable to pay. Are they not then able to receive assistance?
I would think, given just what we saw of Tyr, probably the people who didn't have money would go to a church like this. Although he didn't seem all that knowledgeable about the city, like missing persons and this kind of thing either, so...
Yes, the city is a very strange place indeed.
Well, at least in Gilga, I find, when you do people a good turn, they're liable to help you anyway afterwards. And if someone is going to be offering coin once we've done something, it's usually polite to say yes.
So, if it is not too much of a bother for you all, we offer our assistance to people in need if they need it, of course.
Okay,
Not at
so
all.
I didn't mess up by just saying yes. Sorry, I kind of forget that we've only just met, and I was intending it to be like, yes, of course, I will help you, and then it became, yes, of course, we will help you. So...
It's not a problem. In our monastery, we routinely protect the villagers around. Without them, we would lack in food and things, and we find that it is best to assist when we can.
I completely agree.
Yes, well, Serena, it appears you are wrong to fear being caught on fire inside of the church.
Yes, but I don't make it a habit of going to churches.
In that case, we shall make a note to avoid places of worship in the future.
Well, I don't want to keep anybody from not going. Like you said, I didn't burst into flames, so it should be fine. It's just people tend to not really like the whole horns thing.
Zach, is it rare to be a tiefling?
Relatively.
Okay. Is it especially rare here, or is there more of a tiefling presence because it's a big city?
You've seen them since you walked in, but like, they're oftentimes more like common folk.
Hmm.
Do you have business here in the city, Serena?
No, just kind of following, wandering.
Why did the guard say stuff to you like that? He sounded like he knew you.
Well, I certainly have never seen him before.
Oh. Oh, wow. How did that happen?
Like you said, it's a big city. I don't know everybody here.
I think that'll be difficult.
Do,
Imagine how busy your day would be.
Ugh, yes.
do they know you, though?
I don't know. I usually kept to myself while I was here.
Very well. I'm going to be scanning for if there are any wanted posters with a certain tiefling face on them. So we're heading towards the residential area, question mark?
Yes.
I'm looking for that anchor crest.
It honestly takes a while. The residential district is sort of on the opposite side of the city, and this city is very large, which, like, it was relatively close to the gate that you all had come in. When you went to this sort of like political and religious area where most of the institutions are built. And so the scale of the city really starts to dawn on you. Like you're walking for minutes, which turns into 15, which turns into like a half an hour to like get to the other side of the city. It goes from miles from district to district.
What is the decor of the city like? Like, is it more like hardcore brick, like Stormwind from World of Warcraft, or is it more like elegant, like with like an elvish flair? Like, what is the decor of the city looks like?
It's mostly stone, but different buildings are built with different kinds of stone. So like many of them are like a more common sort of cobblestone, but you'll also see like limestone and marble buildings, just depending on like what kind of building it is and the amount of money that the people who constructed it had available. There's also more like polished stone than cobblestone, which would be like a Stormwind style building.
And what about population? Like when we see people walking down the street, does it seem to tailor towards a specific demographic, or does it seem like a wide variety of different races mingling together?
No, there's definitely a wide variety. It's clearly more like a human leaning city, but you've actually seen a couple other dragonborn since you've got here. So there are clearly other races that settle here and are expected, but it's majority human, and actually dwarves from what you've seen.
Okay.
Zach, you said that we're walking around looking for the noble house, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can I make a perception check around to see what other noble houses that we pass by?
Sure.
Yeah. That is a straight 17 because I don't have a good wisdom modifier.
You pass by. Several of them are familiar to you from your previous time being here. But there's a lot of them. I mean, there's clearly more than just like one tier of nobility here. There's everywhere from like a giant castle inside of the city that you pass by, all the way down to like a ranch-sized sort of, stone home that just happens to have a decent amount of land and greenery around it. That seems to be part of it, is kind of like the land within the city that they own. Yeah, you recognize some of them, and there's a wide variety. Are you looking for any particular types of houses or particular symbols? You can DM me.
Okay.
As we're walking, I'm just gonna have Catherine on my shoulder, and she is looking around, but I've mentally communicated to her to see if she picks up any other holy symbols on any doors, like any other temple-looking buildings, like different gods.
Not in this area. Not now that you've left. But Catherine would have seen various other symbols in the previous area of the city. The previous district, yeah.
Anything relating to like Shantia or I'm gonna go for Sylvanas.
Not from what you saw. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. You just have to go back to the area more with the intention to seek it out. You did not like explore the full area in order to get to the.
Yeah. This is just what he would be, the gods that he would be familiar with from his home village is more like farming and wilderness type deities.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yes, the nobility around here certainly likes to behave well. What is it? A kind word to say very show-offy.
Do you not have nobles and such where you're both from?
Not really. Yeah, we are from a monastery. We're just sort of, in a way, like a very large school or barracks almost. So we are primarily focused on your pathway towards enlightenment, or for those who prefer to focus more on the martial side of things, or your ability with your hands.
Like,
That's interesting. Like, are any of your schools particularly devoted to, I don't know, more the use of weapons? Like,
Um, there are a few, yes. A good friend of mine, when I began my training, they used I forget the name of it, but rather large staff-like weapon. I haven't seen him in quite a while, though.
I would, I would thoroughly enjoy spending some time sparring with you fellas in the mornings if you have a bit of time. I think that would be quite enjoyable.
I agree. Yeah, you look like you are very honorable. I would enjoy the opportunity.
I won't mind at all. It'd be different trying to spar with somebody from outside of the monastery, though. Like, what rules will we follow? Like, will we follow the same rules, or? Because your brother was thinking about sparring too, but he was sparring in a group of folks who didn't bow or anything. So it was very different from how we spar.
Well, I think we could probably figure that out as we go along.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right.
I'll be on hand to make
What?
sure that there's no unfortunate long-term damage.
Well, a little bit of long-term damage is not the worst thing in the world.
I don't know about that.
A scar builds a story.
I don't like scars. I'm okay. No scars for me, please.
We'll do our best there, fella. We'll do our best. No
Thank you.
scars for you today.
So what about you, Nezra? Do you practice combat in some form?
Oh, I'm not much one for fighting per se. I mean, I can, if necessary, but I generally try not to. I mean, you can see she has a like a warhammer, so she's not unarmed, but she's watching you guys talk about it and does not seem interested in participating any.
That is understandable. How about you, Serena? Are you a fan of the martial arts?
Martial arts, no. But I do occasionally like to hit a thing or two.
I am not entirely sure it's quite the same thing, but perhaps.
Does Cug fight?
Cog, yes, he does. But right now he's a little fragile still.
After that, what was it called? A Bargus?
A Bargist.
After the Bargus thing that you had the teeth from. Yes.
Yes.
We have to work with a lot of.
Are you able to
nobles.
upgrade Cog?
As my own experience develops, I believe I can.
Interesting.
Water cannon, definitely.
That
Put it
is
in the water
already
cannon.
in my notebook, Achilles.
So, when the loud noise was happening before, were you trying to upgrade him before? Or was that something
I was trying, but probably not succeeding. It's mostly trying to get the dents out of his plates.
And Ikara will kind of look at the metallic fox on the ground to kind of see if he notices any, I guess, unfortunate circumstances from the last fight. He says, "Oh, how long does it normally take to fix it?"
Usually not very long, but considering the Bargus really wanted to have my head,
He didn't like you.
No, it's probably because I yelled at him.
Yeah.
It's a very brave thing to do.
It was more of a stupid thing, but
Yes, but brave. Just as brave is still good.
yes, well, if you need any other monsters yelled at, you know where to look.
I will keep that in mind.
So we've been walking this whole time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have we spotted the place with the anchor?
You have.
Okay.
Just to clarify, which inn are we going to again? What's it then?
We haven't decided.
Oh, okay, that's what I was like. All right.
We're heading towards the noble's house now.
Okay.
Are there any guards or anything out front?
Outside of the house?
Yeah, the noble's manor.
The specific one that you're looking for, the Murner house. No, not from what you can tell. It is gated. There's like a fence around it, but it's a relatively small sort of area with a fence around it and a cobblestone house.
Okay.
Although there do seem to be some fruit trees that are growing like around the house.
I do not know much about the customs of this place, so if either of you would like to lead us in to speak with us, Celia.
Oh, I find that general politeness does the trick most everywhere. And I'm going to try to like knock, or if there's a bell pull or however you can announce your presence here at the gate.
There's a door knocker, so we'll assume that you use that probably. Yeah. Eventually a middle-aged man looks like he comes to the door, and he opens it. He appears to be carrying in one of his arms like a pile of what looks like dirty dishes, and he looks to you and he says, "Yes."
I do apologize. I seem to have caught you in the middle of an errand, but Brother Gerald of the Temple of Tyr has sent us to pay his respects to Lady Celia and see if we can't help her out with something.
With what? Are you here on business?
I guess helping another on behalf of a church could be considered business, yes. I do apologize. I didn't get your name. I'm Nezra.
I believe I understand. My name is Charles.
Does he look like a zombie?
While he still has his eyes.
He does not. He's just a butler named Charles, as far as you can tell.
I'm on the lookout for Arthelon. Okay, so if you could let Lady Celia know that we are here and would appreciate a moment of her time in the audience, I would be greatly appreciative, Charles.
I can certainly let her know. Please wait here. I'll be right back. And he invites you into sort of like a lobby area with a staircase that leads up to the second floor. And it's got a couple of like end tables on either side of like the little lobby area that have some art placed above them. It looks like one of them is like a portrait of a man, one of them is a portrait of a woman, and they're set up such that they're like kind of looking at each other across the lobby area. And you're waiting for probably 10 minutes when Charles returns and opens the door and allows a woman who's actually probably like moderately tall, maybe like 5'7", 5'8". So not short, certainly. Into the leads her into the room. She's wearing kind of a flowing purple dress. It's a very like soft purple. And she's got like a sort of pseudo transparent like shawl almost of cloth, kind of like wrapped around her shoulders, that she's holding on to. And she comes up to all of you and says, "Hello, I heard that you were visiting from the church."
Yes. Lady Celia, my name is Nezra, and Brother Gerald wanted to pay his respects and send us your way so that we could maybe help you out with an unfortunate occurrence within your family.
Brother Gerald. Ah, interesting. Well, you are, of course, welcome here, and I thank you for making the journey here at his behest. How much has he told you?
Oh, next to nothing. We do know that your daughter is not currently in residence at your home, and that the guards have not seemed interested in helping you out to locate her.
That's correct. For whatever reason, though we have fruit trees on our property, apples just do not grow. So once a month, my daughter goes to an apple orchard on the outside of town, as she has been doing so for the past year and a half. And there, she picks up several bushels of apples and returns them. And we keep them for the staff and for ourselves to eat. It's been a habit, but for some reason this time, though she's normally only gone for one day, staying at the Juggle Jack Inn along the road for the return trip as night falls. She did not return this time. She's been missing for over a week. I spoke to the guards and asked that they would look into this, and they claim that as a unwed, lower noble woman, it's most likely that she's just run off with a man and decided to skip out on her duties. It's certainly a story that I've heard before amongst my circles, but it seems uncharacteristic. I don't believe it.
Where?
Suppose you wouldn't want to believe it, though, if it was your own daughter, I suppose.
Well,
No, one's instincts should be trusted. You would know your daughter best.
so you think that, well, I imagine that you'd want to know either way, whether she is waylaid by some other circumstance or has chosen to go elsewhere. You would probably want confirmation of that as well, yes?
I would. Yes, of course. I'm worried. Though she might be of age and an adult, is she still my daughter?
Is this something where you want her back, or you just want to know that she's safe?
Well, I suppose if she's chosen to leave home, I do not think that she would do so without telling me. But that's something that I would be willing to accept. I'm just... Well, frankly, what keeps me up at night is that there's no daughter left out there to go find, and that some bandits or something have happened upon her on the road. I would, of course, want to know what's happening either way, but it's gotten to the point where I can't stop myself from worrying.
Is there someone that does it like you?
Well, she kind of like turns to ICARA, looks at him, and is a bit confused by the insightful question from someone who appears to be very young, and that she also has noticed at this point appears half dragon.
That high wisdom, though. That high wisdom.
And she's like, that's a good question. Certainly no one is liked by all, nobles least amongst that group, but no one that I would know to be concerned about. Just, I have to imagine that there are people who do not like me, or my family, perhaps.
Well, maybe you could give us specific directions towards this apple orchard and the normal route you would take.
Of course.
Whatever.
If you leave the city going to the west, before nightfall, you should come to the third full fork. At the third full fork, you would turn left. Several miles after that, you would pass by Juggle Jack's Inn. And then a mile or two past there, you would come to the apple orchard.
So you go via the main gate west. 3 full forks. On the third one, take the left one, go past Jumping Jack. And the orchard will be a couple miles beyond that.
Juggle Jack. I believe Jumping Jack is an exercise.
So close.
Right?
That is indeed very true.
I believe so.
Juggle Jack.
Would you mind me asking why this orchard in particular? Is it not possible to get apples just in the market?
Oh, no, I don't mind you asking at all. It probably is, but they have the very best apples.
Can I make
The
an insight
others
check?
who-
Sure.
Suspicious apples.
She's
Spotted.
lying.
Are there other people who go to this orchard as well?
I feel like D&D sometimes, like, you're looking for the plot hook, so it gets into, like, someone is like, I like pizza, and you're like, they like pizza?
Pizza?
Why do they like pizza?
Just an 8. Just an 8.
It's,
They didn't give me creamer for my coffee. Those sons of bitch.
And that's one on the character completely broken. Okay. Back into it. So what you notice is a woman who likes apples that's very worried about one of her daughters.
So suspicious.
What did you say your daughter's name was again?
Oh, Alaya.
Oh, I like that name. Alaya, is there, do you have other children? Or is Alaya your only child?
I have 2. A son who is Elias Jr., a middle son. He's 13. And I have a younger daughter as well who is 7.
So there's Elias Jr., Alaya, and another child. Just, that's out of character. I'm not saying that in game. I just want to make sure I wrote it down right. Alaya and Elias.
She didn't say any of the names of the other children.
Oh, I thought you said Elias Jr.
No. He is the junior, so he's in the middle, not like an older brother.
Oh.
It's like
Elias
she's kind of
Jr.
explaining to you through explaining it that she doesn't have like a 25-year-old son that she can be like, go figure out what's happened to.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Alaya, she hasn't been, I don't know, remarking that she's been getting friendly with anybody, that she's been visiting people when she's at the orchard,
Well, I would like to hope that she's friendly and she visits with at least the orchard owner's family when she comes to do business with them. But she hasn't made any remarks about any boys or anything like that. Like, the guards seem to indicate I don't know that she would tell me. It's certainly possible. That's what makes this whole thing so terrible. It's not that I can't understand why they came to their conclusion. I just disagree, and it's not helpful to me to have no answers. I need
Of course, yeah.
I need help.
Are there other people who frequent this orchard?
I'm sure that there certainly are, but I don't know of any of them amongst my inner circle, so to speak.
See, well, we will do our best to locate your daughters as quickly and as effectively as possible.
For that, I thank you.
I don't mean to intrude, but would
But
you
you're
say
going
that
to.
I will. Would you say that you and your daughter have a good relationship?
Sure. Of course I would. I imagine that any mother probably would, but I hope that you can believe me that I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I just want to make sure that perhaps an argument set her off and she might have run away.
Not to my knowledge.
Looking around, does anything look off in the room? Like, places where like valuables might have been normally but aren't.
Yes, Achilles. Achilles looks very suspect.
Super sus. Super sus.
Yes, Achilles. It was
I was eating French fries off screen. That's what I was doing.
Roll me a perception check.
That's a 9.
Ooh.
Hard to tell. It looks like this place is pretty well taken care of and maintained, probably by the butler whom you met earlier. So, like, it's not like you're kind of looking for and trying to pick up on like areas of dust where maybe something was previously and is no longer. But it's so hard to tell just because everything's kept so clean. Certainly, there are still paintings and art and those end tables that I was mentioning. Like in here, it's not like the entry area is barren, but you can't tell if anything was specifically missing or not.
So, are you all prepared to see this orchard?
I think so. I mean, having a little brother and a little sister myself, I understand the worry you must be feeling, and can't feel good at all. So, more than happy to help you out. Do you think we'd be in time then if we left now?
Well, we could certainly stay at that inn if we find ourselves needing a place to sleep.
Very true.
Oh, who specifically don't like you? Do you have any names, somebody we can perhaps talk to? See if there's anything fishy going on.
I don't. I imagine if there's anyone who doesn't like me, they'd probably try to keep it from me, at least. Certainly no one's told me to my face.
Oh. Nobody tried to attack you?
Oh, gods no. Do you get attacked frequently in Bastion?
Not at Bastion, but back home we have to be able to protect ourselves from things. So yes.
She starts looking at all of you very firmly, like, why are you putting yourselves into situations where this dragon child is being attacked frequently? And that's whatever that look is, that's the look you're getting right now.
To be fair, we have not been attacked since I've known these people. I think that what my young friend here was referring to was training.
Yes.
Oh.
But also the way that we walk across where we come from is pretty dangerous.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
News for me as well.
But it seems safer here. It's pretty safe here. You guys only have to worry about dogs.
There's a different kind of vulture around these parts.
Oh. Well, what's that?
It's made out of metal and breathes fire.
So it's a metal
That
dragon.
sounds quite dreadful.
So it's a metal dragon.
They're
No.
messing with you.
I'm
Ikara.
sorry. That was just a small joke on my part. I
Oh,
am terribly sorry, Ikara.
Well, I think that if they haven't been attacked since you've known them, that perhaps you should stay with them for a while.
Those do sound
Ikara-
like better odds.
Ikara kind of paused and see the logic behind it. He's like, oh, that kind of makes sense. It is safer here.
So, Lady Celia, if we depart now, would we have a good chance of making it at least to the inn before sunset, or should we wait till morning?
Oh, geez, it's hard for me to say. I've only made the journey one time. It's difficult to move your entire family, and my husband's been away on business for the past 3 weeks. Probably?
Probably. I do appreciate that. Your husband was away on business
Yes.
at the same time as your daughter went missing.
2 weeks prior?
Oh, I see. So I just wanted to make sure that he was also not expected to be back and not here.
Oh, well, it's a bit embarrassing, but I can't say that I know too much about what he gets up to in his business. It's not the most forthcoming, a little bit of a sort of stoic personality.
And your
She kind
husband's
of like glances at Nuvian like, I think you might be somewhat familiar.
I was gonna say Nezra's doing that.
What is your husband's name, by the way?
I just really wanted to say like Charles, and he's a zombie. Like,
You mean you've never heard of Arthalon?
no, his name is Daniel.
Celia and Daniel Murner. Well, it sounds like we're going to take ourselves a little trip towards the orchard, and hopefully we'll be back with good news or with your daughter in tow.
At this point, I would just take news.
Of course.
We'll do our best.
And I thank
And
you
thank-
for that.
Thank you for having us in your home, and I imagine we should be off.
Stay safe.
Okay.
I think we'll just see ourselves out, yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah. How many rations does your adventurer's pack come with? Is my question.
And I think
10, yes.
10?
Mhm.
10? Quantity. Rations, 1 day, 10. Okay, cool. Alright, so yeah, I guess as we're going, Achilles will probably walk and be munching on one of those.
I mean, we could stop by the market on our way out or through maybe. I'm not really sure. If I were to mentally picture the city as we've walked through it and where we're going towards the west gate, do I think I would be passing through any market areas on my way?
Oh, you could.
Take like a
There's
slightly
like
wrong
two.
turn.
Yeah, there's like two routes kind of that you could take.
Mhm.
The most direct route probably wouldn't, but if you like swung around and did a little bit of like a more of a loop, you would.
Okay, quick decision time. Are we leaving now or in the morning? Because that will kind of affect our plans.
Well, I believe we should leave now.
Mhm.
However, somebody, Nezra, promised to guard a drink.
I did, and I was going to mention it, but I kind of wanted to get the room. Well, honestly, I could
Well,
probably
you
just buy the
you-
drink and let it be there for him.
you know, I mean, we did kind of make a promise to the man, you know, steps must be followed.
I mean, it wasn't so much of a promise. I asked if there was a place that a drink could be bought. Didn't necessarily say I would be there to hand it to him.
I
Looks like a bowl.
don't believe those are the words that left your mouth, but I also am hesitant to go to this, what was it called? The Yawning Tail, considering we have ICARA with us.
Hmm. I was
The
going
lad
to say,
is out here to see the world, though.
Achilles, please.
I mean,
Achilles, would you bring your brother?
oh, for sure I would, just to see the redness in his cheeks. Oh my goodness. But I mean, not to see the redness. Have you ever tried seeing through a familiar? Like, it's not the same as how I remember real vision is like. There's very much less color, you know. I'm fairly certain Catherine's colorblind.
Hmm. I've never had a familiar. I wouldn't know. I think.
For instance, I'm not quite sure if that is like red or gray that you're wearing right now.
Me, mostly purple, actually.
I mean, you see that's the thing, right? It's
Wait, Achilles, I must ask, what color am I?
I'm going to go with purple.
Close, actually. I'm more blue, but this purple.
Well, that's a step up there, Catherine. Like a little high five, and she gives me.
Right.
I don't have any troubles going to the Yawning Inn or the Yawning Tail, sorry, or the Rope Homes, whatever it's called. I do think that maybe we should leave in the morning, though. Just it will give us more time in the city to get supplies that we may need. And I like the idea of being, well, you like the idea of being on the road during the day, and I have noted that preference for the future.
It might be useful as well to just ask a few folks about their impressions of the Jugglejack Inn or this grove. You know, we might get a bit more details about it than the folks that live there.
So, market time? Shopping
Yeah.
episode? Question mark? I know, we already did our shopping episode last week. Miz was broke now. I bought all the potions, y'all.
You did.
Clarify, you guys are broke. Nuvi and I
Yeah,
are still rolling in the dough. Yeah, we still
We're
rolling. in the
good.
dough. Yeah, we're good to go.
Well, after all, the money you have now is maybe all of the money that you'll have your whole life as a monk. So
Yeah, that's
you
true.
gotta budget appropriately, you know.
Mhm.
True.
Very frugal.
It's why Nuvian only eats like 2 grapes a day. He's
Oh, that's the reason why.
strict budget.
2 grapes a day. Oh man.
So we're going to the market.
I
think
think
so,
so.
yeah.
I think it'd be good to just pick up a few more ration packs, to be honest, because you never know.
Get to know some commoners, get to know the word on the street kind of thing.
As you make your way there, the thing that sort of like strikes you about the market is mostly its size. This is one of the market areas. You don't know if this is the only one in the city, but it's probably like triple the size of the other market that you went to at the crossroads. So it's very big. The energy is high, but not quite like so cutthroat from what you observe initially as the other market in the crossroads.
I would like to go find a produce stand, looking for their sources. See if anyone sources from this grove or from that direction, that kind of thing.
Mm,
And I'll probably
Yep.
pick up some food while I'm there.
good plan.
So you're looking for apples from that orchard?
Or somebody who sells apples that I can inquire where they normally do their purchasing from.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to find a fruit vendor.
Nuvian, you were muted. Did you want to say something?
He was. I was saying that he will be listening out for any mentions of Celebi while they're walking.
Mm-hmm. That is what ICARA was kind of also looking around as well. See if he can recognize Celebi or hear any mentions of.
Okay.
Actually, Serena's gonna put up her hood while they go into the market.
Fair enough. You do so.
Excuse me there, sir, madam. Is this a man or a woman that we're talking to, or in between, or neither?
This one is a man.
Okay. Oh, excuse me, sir. These are some good-looking fruits you have here. I was wondering, do you have any? I don't know. What kinds of apples do you have? Is my question.
Well, we got two different kinds, but I'll tell you what, the pears, them's my specialty. You ought to look into the pears. You had some pears before?
I could never quite get the texture of pears to. It was never really my thing. But you know, maybe these ones are different.
You've never had my pears, after all. You haven't. I would recognize you.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm more than happy to buy at least a single pair for a moment of conversation.
Ah, that sounds good. 8 copper pieces.
I don't know if that's hyperinflation for city prices, but if that's what you're asking for, sure, I'll pay it. So you say you've got 2 kinds of apples. Like, we're actually on our way to head to this grove. Did we get a name there, Nezra? What it was called?
We did not. We got directions. So, I mean, I could relay the directions, but she just said the apple orchard.
It's out past or close enough to the Juggle Jack Inn. There's apparently a good apples that come from there. Do you sell any of those?
Well, yep. I'll tell you, that is the Haronda Orchard, and they got some pretty good apples. Not as good as my pears, but some pretty good apples. And yeah, we sell them.
Do you have any on hand?
Well, I sure do. Of course I do.
And what is your price for these Haronda apples?
1 silver piece each.
I'm actually considering making the trip out myself. Not sure if I want to spend this over here or there.
Well, I can't make that decision for you, I'll tell you that. But they're awful closer here than they are there at this moment.
That is an accurate understanding of my physical location, yes.
Yep, that's what the ladies often say about me, that I'm accurate.
Okay.
I'm looking for like a what would you call it? An assortment of various fruits and vegetables that I can take on the road.
Yeah, we could do that. We got some pears, we got some apples, we got some carrots, we got some peaches, we got some celery. Got some wheat, although I don't know that I'd recommend eating the wheat straight forthwith.
I tell you what, can I get like an assortment of pears, apples, and peaches for 5 silver?
Yeah, we could do that. So he gives you 2 apples, 2 peaches, and 3 pears.
So Achilles is biting into the pear, and I mean, it's alright. It's still a pear, like, you know, but it's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's just I still think I'm much more of an apple man.
It might be just a pear, but it is the best pear that you've ever had. I can guarantee that.
I personally prefer them cooked, so maybe that's the difference.
You cook your pears?
Poached them.
Sounds quite good, actually. I mind trying it.
That's
but-
mighty different there, miss, honestly. But,
This
whatever warms your fire, I suppose.
the Haranda orchard, you say? What kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
what kind of folks are it that run the place?
Fine ones, as far as I can tell. Yep.
All right. And have you made your way there to the Juggle Jack Inn at all?
I think I did stay there one time, actually. I don't typically go myself. I often have a guy who brings the fruit to me. But you see, one time he wasn't up for the journey, so I had to go make the journey myself in order to refill my stock to make sure that I was conducting my business appropriately. And, well, I'd have stuff to eat other than apples and pears and peaches, as it were. And, it was a right okay place, I'd say, yeah.
All right. Nothing, untoward about it. Just regular old inn on the roadside.
Oh, no, sort of small. That's my biggest complaint, I suppose. Only got about 4 or 5 rooms in that whole place.
Okay.
Who runs the
Anything
orchard?
in...
Why, the
Question.
Harandas, of course. It is the Haranda Orchard, ain't it?
Oh, that's the name? Oh, Oh, okay. Is there a couple?
I'm pretty sure I said that the name was Haranda Orchard, didn't I? Did I say that? I said that, didn't I? He's asking you, no, sir.
Yes, yeah, I did hear it, but I think my younger friend here may not have understood the implication that it was owned by the Harandas themselves.
Mm-hmm. What'd she say?
You did not mention your name, which is interesting. Is there a sign over the stall or anything that would indicate
No.
I'm Nezra?
It's not odd though, I'll say that. Like many of them don't.
Oh, okay,
They're just like guys selling like fruit and potatoes and stuff, not like
gotcha.
Magic Johnson's peaches.
Marcelinos. Yeah.
So he introduces himself as Jonathan.
Jonathan, if we can bring back a couple extra bushels of apples on our trip, would you want us to stock you up?
Yeah. I might maybe need to count them because, to be honest with you, I always forget how many's in a bushel. But yeah, I definitely think that we could work out something like that.
I will make sure that we bring back as many as we can hold.
That's mighty pleasant of you. Yep.
If you ever find yourself out heading Gilgal way, if you want to stop by the McGowan Ranch, you can pick up some really tasty peaches. My family grows them.
You don't happen to have any of them with you, do you?
I don't, but I do happen to have, and he pulls out a tiny little thing of jam. Oh, there you go. You can have that.
Oh,
What is the opposite of murder hobo? Because that's what we are as a party.
like, oh, you need this?
Make sure
The opposite
the
of
world
murder
is
hobo.
fed, all the families are together, happy, and has comfortable blankets.
What's your goal? World peace.
World peace. That's our world. That's our world. World peace.
You're carrying the fruit back and forth for the village.
He does take the jam, and he's like, well, if this is as good as I sort of expect it to be based on what I have seen of you fine folks, is there any way we could maybe talk about making an arrangement with you and your village to have some supply delivered to here to me that I would pay for, and the travel costs associated with it, of course? Because I only got one type of peaches, and they are mighty fine, but it's always good to expand.
Sure. Next time I'm off home, I'll make sure to send people your way. No problem.
Yeah, I think we can discuss it in further detail if you are needing to when you all return with the apples.
He takes another bite of the pear. You know, these are growing on me. Thank you. Pear.
Fortunately, they do not grow on me, but I have seen them grow before.
You have grown a pear before. That's what you said.
Uh,
Why? Yeah, I suppose I have grown some pears.
I'm sorry. It was right there.
it was low-hanging fruit, Shumanji.
Ripe for the picking.
Mr. Jonathan does not seem to get it.
Oh.
Neither does ICARA. ICARA just shrugs.
This is how you know you have a good D&D group, is you can make that kind of terrible pun and it just gets added on.
Roll for dad jokes.
roll for dad jokes.
Did I take any psychic damage? That's what Well, it was an absolute pleasure meeting you, Jonathan, and I look forward to seeing you again when we've returned.
Yeah, it was mighty nice meeting you too. Mm-hmm.
And it was, to get to the Harondo apple orchard, it was 3 forks, take a left to go past the inn, right? Heading west. 3rd fork.
Are we baking? That sounds like a recipe to me.
Oh, well, how would you get to the orchard then?
Well, like I said, I've only been there one time. I mean, I would send my guy who knows how to get to the orchard to go to the orchard and bring me the apples, and then I would pay him the transit cost as well as...
Is your guy available?
Miss, what type of available are you asking about, just so we are on the same page?
Well, I suppose I was asking about a map or directions. Around, physically present in the general vicinity.
Yeah, I mean, you might need to wait, but he's supposed to be bringing by a shipment of the other kinds of apples today, so, you know.
Maybe we'll stop
If
at
you're
5.
willing to hang around, you might see him.
Or we could just follow the directions that the lady gave us. I mean, I didn't get
If
like
you already had directions, why are you asking me for... That's rather odd, don't you think?
No, it's a place I've never been before. I wanted to make sure that there weren't any other features or landmarks.
Ah, trust but verify. I know that all too well.
Seem like a very intelligent gentleman, sir.
Well, yeah, I do my best. That's all we can do, I figure.
I'm just looking around on the signboard to see if he's got a little blue check mark somewhere there that says verified trader.
Verified trader.
You're asking for a lightning bolt today, my friend. You want a tier lightning bolt, right?
Yes, well, are we done with our gathering of supplies, or did you all need something else?
Oh,
I got some fruits.
one question. Have you heard of somebody named Celebi?
B.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever met any Celebes. What type of person is Celebi?
Oh, she's a dragon.
ICARA, I thought we talked about not telling people that she was a dragon.
What?
We did?
Kid, you know, you look mighty odd, but what are you going around looking for dragons for?
Oh, she's my cousin.
We have our reasons for searching for this individual.
Well, I definitely don't recommend searching for dragons, but I suppose if they're a dragon, then they probably spend most of their times up in the peaks, as it were. That's where all the fancy dragon rider people's at. But they defend us and keep us safe because they have dragons, so...
Right, so say that one more time. Dragon riders?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, there are 4 of them. Well, it's mighty sad, actually. There were 4 of them, but 2 of them just died, and as of yet, their dragons have not accepted new riders. I mean, think about how long it would take you to train a person to ride a dragon. I mean, they're not grown on trees like pears. You know what I'm talking about? So I figure it's a little concerning that they done died. But there's still 2 of them left, and that's where they keep the dragons, up there in the peaks. Mm-hmm.
Yes, do they have some sort of base or central location?
What? You know, y'all are making me question my own brain, talking about the Haronda orchard and then asking me about the Harondas, and now I'm telling you about the peaks, and you're asking me if they got a base when I just told you about the peaks. And I'm getting mighty confused, if I'm being honest with all y'all.
I think he means like a physical building or something. Like, is it a fort, or are they in caves, or like?
The base,
What's
yeah, the peaks. It's a cave.
Ah, right. Oh, okay.
Oh, yes. I
over
apologize.
there
I
with
thought
the
you
sand.
were simply saying the peaks as in the tops of the mountains. I did not know you meant a
Yeah,
single
no,
location.
the tops of the mountains, the peaks, where their caves are. But I mean, that's what we call them, the peaks, because that's what they are. Mm-hmm.
I believe we have gained all of the useful information that our friend here can share with us today.
Oh, I did have
Well, I
one question.
highly doubt that, but don't go looking for no dragons. Yes, miss?
Sorry, did Serena want to say something?
No, she was agreeing with Nubian.
Oh, okay.
Don't go chasing dragons. Just stay to the wyverns and the drakes that you're used to. It's the old song.
I'm pretty sure there's a book about how to train your dragon rider.
They want you to know
You're like two puns from rolling a dexterity check, my man.
Jonathan. Shit,
Yeah.
I can't get into Nezra's head anymore. Jonathan, you said that 2 of them sadly passed away.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got
old
killed.
age? Oh dear, was there a battle or something?
There was an explosion. Y'all ain't heard about it?
No, this sounds like the biggest news that we've missed.
Oh, down over there in that city, Earlorn, something like that. They had like a bunch of elves where they produced like a lot of magic stuff and whatnot. But it was all like a bona fide free city down there. And now they're talking about how good it is we got the army and the dragon riders to protect us because the dragon survived on account of that. They were up in the air and stuff, but the whole city done exploded. Nobody really knows why. I really hope this whole city doesn't explode for no reason, because I don't think that I would like that too much.
Have we heard about this? I mean, that seems like it would be pretty big news.
It hadn't made its way to you yet.
Yeah, I'm
like,
presuming.
No one in the village had heard about it yet.
Yeah, I'm presuming since we're from a different continent. I mean, that's like, some city blew up. Okay.
So Serena had heard of that?
Probably not.
Okay.
He says, I mean, it's been like 3 days or something. Like it just happened. Everybody's real scared. But don't go telling folks, because not everybody knows yet.
Yes, we won't tell everybody about the explosion that happened.
Mom is in
Not
fact
supposed to know about that.
You know, you look like a noble girl, but you kind of act like a fancy pants sort of person.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jonathan.
I don't either half the time.
Ah,
Jonathan is my fave, by the way.
And honestly, it hasn't got better since y'all came here and made me start questioning myself.
Sometimes we have
Perhaps-
that effect on people.
perhaps
So-
we should leave then. If
Yeah,
you
I
have
don't mind
questions.
introspection, but I am getting a bit tired.
Yes.
Get a nice long rest, my friend.
Well, I
Good
still got
afternoon.
some fruit to sell, but after I sell it, I certainly will. I look forward to seeing the apples that y'all have to provide upon your return.
Yes. Should we?
As we're walking away, I'm gonna turn to Achilles and be like, it doesn't technically count as spoils that we owe to Marcelinos if it's apples that we purchased for another person, right?
Oh no, I mean, I don't think
Apples.
she wants apples. Like, I think this was more along the lines of like, oh, we happen to find, I don't know, some giant toenails or something, or the liver of some giant freaking insect or something. I don't know, insect biology. Do they have livers?
I don't know. I'm a cleric. Do I have any random information about insect livers?
I don't know. I'm a cleric.
Um,
I'm a cleric. I don't know these things.
I'm a cleric, not a doctor. Damn it.
do you have a proficiency in medicine?
Do I? I don't.
Then I'm gonna say something that specific. Probably not.
Fair enough.
So when
Should
ICARA,
we?
when ICARA steps out, he can tell he looks so slightly upset. And he says, I don't like him. He didn't seem to like dragons for some reason. He said, why would you be searching for dragons? Like, what's wrong with searching for dragons? Maybe that's like saying I should have searched for my mom.
Well, Akara, I don't think it's necessarily a dragon problem. It's a dragon in the city problem. It's not very common here. He would be surprised to find a dragon. He probably doesn't know a lot about dragons besides this whole dragon rider thing.
But why would you have that output just because you never seen it before? I mean, I was right in front of him. I had a tail and everything, and he just said it right in front of me.
That is true.
I don't
I
know if
think
he knew what you were. I also have a tail. Perhaps he thought you were a tiefling as well.
Really? He points to the scales on his face and then the scale like horns on his top. I was like,
Well,
yeah, we do look slightly similar, but we also look very different.
we do, but again, dragons are not very common in cities. As Nezra was saying.
I don't like it.
This is why we were sent in the first place. Well, Cara, we must finish our mission as soon as we can.
Yeah. This place.
No.
Where we're
Is there
from?
somewhere you guys would like to go to look for Celebi?
If we can,
Once we
after
have
this, the
finished.
peaks. Yeah, go to the peaks. Cause how do they have dragon riders? I mean, that's also weird. Why would dragons want to be ridden on? I mean, if I told my mom that there was dragon riders here, I don't know what she would say.
I'll be honest, lad, I don't know a whole lot about dragons at all. You know, we just hear old fairy tales mostly. It's kind of things that, you know, there was a dragon attacking a village and a brave knight came and slew the dragon. That's generally what people talk about, but
They say that
I mean,
here?
I understand. Oh, I mean, for sure, there's storybooks and whatnot, but usually, you know, I think that's kind of one of the reasons why Serena wants to keep her hood up, because people can be small-minded about different kinds of things. Not everyone is as understanding as everyone else, and sometimes people are scared of what they don't know about. or we like to make stories about things that seem big and unknowable so that we can make ourselves feel bigger than what we really are, I guess.
So I should hide
Is
my
that
face?
making sense?
I
Oh
guess.
no, lad, you should never be ashamed of who you are.
Especially while we're around. Got your back. Both of you. And I look at Serena.
Yes, those were touching words, Achilles, but there's a few other reasons why I have my head up.
I mean, I kind of figured, but I didn't want to get into
I
all
mean-
of that.
You've been fairly good at respecting your boundaries.
Maybe one day I will disclose why, but for now.
Maybe later I could take you all to meet my mom and my mom's family. Then you all can meet.
I would love that, to be honest. I mean, to see an actual full-blown dragon, I think that would be quite interesting. Well, again, you know, you'll have to pardon me if she comes out in shades of gray. Like, what your mother is? What kind of dragon is your mother?
Oh, he points at his scales. Oh, silver, like me.
Again, you know, Catherine's colorblind.
Oh, yes.
It'd be
I'm
like
sorry.
the same color, right? Silver would
more
be
or
silver.
less. True, but
And
you know,
everything is silver.
no, it's all kind of like these grayscale colors. You know, it's.
Oh, okay.
But I remember what silver looks like. It's just, you know, but silver. All right, very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the entire family is silver. Yeah.
So I
Things look quite
propose.
beautiful if they're flying.
I've never seen one myself. I propose that we spend the next couple hours because it's getting around what mid afternoon. Zach?
Oh, you're a mute.
You're muted.
You muted yourself. The Zoom mute.
Sorry, there's some stuff happening at my house, just in the surrounding area, and I'm trying to spare us all. But then I forget. Yeah, so it's probably like, we'll say it's maybe been 8 hours, 9 hours since you woke up, just given conversational time and travel time that's been spent moving around the city so far.
So we have a couple of hours until sunset. If you want to look in any particular place for leads on Celebi, then we can have a good night's rest and head out in the morning.
Okay.
So at the moment, I believe those dragon riders perhaps are our best opportunity.
But perhaps more information can be gathered here in the city about the peaks or the dragon riders or the explosion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, that was very strange that he would tell us about something that people are not supposed to know about.
Yes, the explosion.
I think it's a don't want panic kind of thing, not a secret kind of thing.
There's enough people around here. I'm pretty sure they gossip.
Then I suppose we should. Do you have any ideas on where to obtain this information? I feel like just walking around asking fruit sellers may not be the most effective way of learning.
We got quite a bit off of Jonathan. Just saying.
But I feel like we gave the man an existential crisis as well.
You know, I haven't known you very long, but I feel like this is a symptom of a encounter, per se. I don't know if any of you are big readers or whatever. I'm sure there's like a library around. It's a temple or something. Go talk to some guards.
Would Serena know of any places that you can gather information like this?
Go to a bar.
I mean, it's kind of complicated because, like, information is a people trade. So, like, bartenders obviously commonly hear stuff There's probably information brokers that you would know if you're familiar with more street level stuff who are willing to sell different kinds of information. But like it's kind of also can just be found everywhere. Like Nezra was saying, uh, actually the fruit sellers seem to know a decent amount of stuff about the what's going on. So
Do I see any street kids? Is there like
You there, young boy?
well, no.
Yeah. Street urchin.
not at the moment. Like
Have we seen any as we've walked through the city?
oh yeah, just you're a little close to the market right now. I still would say, and there just don't happen to be any on the street. You can definitely find one as you're moving wherever.
Well, if I happen to see one, I'm going to take some of the fruit that I got and a little bit of coin and kind of pass it on.
Okay. One of them comes up to you. It looks like he's probably about 5 or 6. That's the first one that you find.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to like make like a little bundle with the fruit that I got from the fruit seller, and we'll say like 3 silver.
Mm.
And just I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. I'm just gonna pass it on to him, and then like try not to draw any attention.
When you hand it to him, you've already like walked away because by the time he like, since you bundled it up, he's like trying to figure out how to untie it because he's 6, and he's like, okay, and he finally gets it open, and you can sort of like, just because you have like pretty good perception as a cleric with high wisdom, you can hear sort of like off somewhat in the distance by the time you all have walked away. He's like, "Oh wow, miss, this is really miss," and that's like what you hear as you all leave.
As we're walking to where we're going, Achilles will be next to ICARA. So, lad, your cousin, like, what did your mother tell you about her? Do you know anything about her demeanor? Like, is she an adventurous type? Is she likable? Does she have any interests? Because that might help us narrow it down. Like you said, she can look like people, so maybe she's taken some kind of trade in the city.
Let's see. Let me double check DM. How much did my mom's or an aunt actually talk about Celebi? Like, did they describe like those mechanics, like things that she may be interested in?
So we've gone over this before, but this is kind of like a bit of a longer shot quest in a sense, because like dragons don't tend to make like super tight-knit families that would like know all of the details about each other. So it's kind of like this is the first time you've ever heard of like let's go check in on a family member in your 11 years of life. So you don't know that much about them. You know the name, you know that they're also a silver dragon, but you don't have too much else to go on.
No, I've never really even seen them before, because they've been far away since I was born. But I just know her name and that she's here. That's it. Sadly. So that's why I try to ask everybody, because it's hard to try to figure out who would know, because I only know a name and I don't even know what she looks like.
That's going to be difficult, like, but it's definitely an adventure, and it's going to be interesting trying to find out. But we'll keep asking, and don't let other people's ignorances get you down.
Yeah, I had to get used to that. That was different. I didn't have to worry about that too much in the monastery. I mean, they thought I was weird because of the fact that I couldn't do like other folks do, but They couldn't really say too much because of my dad. But it wasn't like this where they have like complete issues with dragons. So it's definitely a bit different here.
I think, that's probably a large part of why you and your brother were sent out into the world too, is to just get that understanding that people are different everywhere you go.
Yeah, I can see that. He kind of like scratches his head as he tries to recap all of the very unique individuals he's came across from this journey. It's safe to say, definitely had quite a few eye-opening experiences in his relatively short time for the monastery. Away from the monastery.
And Achilles will say, "Here, let me show you something. When I was a child, I did, my mom would read me all kinds of books and stories and stuff like that. But the only picture of a dragon I ever remember seeing looked a little bit like this. And I'm going to use prestidigitation to make all sorts of sparks in the air to make the image of like it's actually a big red dragon.
And you see his
Like look a little bit like this.
You see his eyes widen from that description, and it says, "Ooh, oh, those. Yeah, that's who told you about that? Those are not
Oh,
good."
it's just one of those fairy tales that I was telling you about.
Oh. So he kind of like makes his way closer towards the group, to Achilles. He says, "Okay, so this is a secret. So you can't tell nobody, okay? You can't tell nobody. But, it could be that Celebi may be in trouble from something like that. Could be. So that's why we have to hurry up and find her, because she's very young. And the people who are like the image that you say are not so young. They're much older."
Is there like a relative age, like, because I mean, like elves, for example, they, young for an elf is like, oh, I'm 150. But what is young for a dragon?
Young would be like up to 150 years.
All right.
And then after that, you're considered not so young. And then you have a really long stage where you consider an adult. And then you have another really long stage where you consider big adult, aka ancient. So, yeah,
So if there's like a tier system, she's like C tier right now.
she's young, like us.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Well, let's try to get on with finding her then as soon as we can.
But it's a secret.
So
You can't
shall
tell-
we? Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
For sure, we won't tell anyone about that.
Mhm.
Now about our lodgings for this evening. Where did we say we were going to stay? Because we don't have to stay at the Awning Tail, But this, what was it? The Rope Homestead, yes?
I believe so.
That sounds nice.
Nice and not too pricey. Fingers crossed.
I'm fine with whatever you all decide. They have very little need for space or particularly high comforts.
You should indulge yourself a little more, Nuvian. Just a little.
Oh, like a spa treatment or something like that.
Oh, that would
Just
be
get
wonderful.
some elbows in the back. Oh, it's great. Like,
You
Never
hear a
had-
woman that's passing by you who's like, "Ah, man, could I use a spa day?"
to have ever had a spa day before.
Also, I mean, a little bit ignorant as to what would constitute a spa day. You just mean like a bath.
Well, I mean, a bath and a nice massage, maybe some hot springs. It's one of those things.
If that is what you all wish to do, then that is fine.
I would like to go to a inn/tavern and ask around a bit. And I think the Rope Homestead is the closest? Question mark.
I believe so. And I would also like to ask a few questions.
They're like neither of them is all that far away. Like the 3 inns that you heard of, you're like close to the residential area where you had been indicated the inns actually were, which is sort of like beside the residential area that has all of the like noble houses and stuff. They're not with the inns. The inns are in more of like a middle class area of town. So you're headed to that middle class area of town. They're all in that same like region, the 3 that you have.
So we could conceivably stay in one and I could pop over to the other if necessary. That kind of thing.
If you wanted to, yeah.
I was thinking that too.
Cool.
That sounds like it'll be the most effective thing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready to go?
Go walking.
Yes.
Okay. So are you going to the Rope Homestead first, I take it?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
You all have arrived.
Beep, beep. Magic of editing.
Looks nice, quaint. How does it look?
It looks pretty quaint. It's composed of like a cobblestone, at parts with a little bit of like wood accents, and it's got like around the windows and stuff, and it's got.
Did we lose Zach? Or did we lose me? Oh,
No.
What?
All right, we heard you.
oh, everything froze for a little bit.
Oh, okay. I think you may have froze a little bit, but no, everybody else.
It's pretty quaint. Some cobblestone, some wood accents. There are like glass windows, but it's probably in your travels you'd estimate it's like a 10 bed inn, which for a city this big is like obviously not that. It's not that big of an inn. But yeah, it's got a sign on it. There's a table with a rope curled on top of it. That's like the emblem on the sign.
That way?
Yes, this is a spa place. Yes? No?
I don't know. Achilles? Can you get your spa stuff here?
I don't think so. No, this is just a tavern, I imagine.
If anything, the gilded table would have something similar to that.
Probably that sounds pricey. They'd probably have one of those like big sauna rooms or something. It sounds delightful.
It does.
I'll be honest, I'm just looking for a bed and maybe a bar.
Bar sounds great. I could do with.
As you step inside, the bartender says, "Well, you have come to the right place. What can I get you?"
A bed and also a drink.
What kind of drink?
Well, what kind do you have?
The kind that you drink.
Port.
That jokes.
We've got some wine, red and white. We've got some ale. We've got a little bit higher quality ale down from the dwarven kegs in the mountains. We've got some elvish wine. We've got some fire whiskey. We've got some magic fire whiskey. Like it's
Actual fire.
will be on fire. Yes.
Well, how much for
brown-
the rooms? Yeah.
For a room?
Yeah.
5 silver pieces a piece.
That makes your pair very expensive.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he wasn't.
Per
nice.
piece or per room, like?
Hmm?
Per piece or per room?
per room.
Oh, that's a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, the pair, because the pair was 5 silver, right? How much was the pair?
8 coppers.
Oh, 8 coppers.
8 copper.
That sounds fair
Yeah.
to me.
Sure. Did any one of you want to what do you call it? Bunk
Yeah.
up? Is that the
But
word?
do they have? How many rooms do you have available? So do you have enough rooms for all 6 of us to be, all 5 of us to be separate, or?
Let me check here. Yes, I actually do. It's a good thing you've come early in the day. The closer it gets to nightfall, tougher it is. It's just the way of things.
Should we all be separate tonight? Huh?
I
Okay.
don't mind sharing. If somebody wants to share, I don't really mind either way.
Do you two have enough money for the room?
Mm-hmm. We have money.
Desra?
I
Achilles?
mean, I could swing it, but I also wouldn't mind sharing.
Yeah, I don't mind sharing.
Let's.
How
How
are you
about
feeling there, Serena? Did you want to did you want to do 3 per room, or did you want to have your own room, or
Do you all want me to come? I'll come back. I'll come back.
An ale, thank you.
Did you
Yeah,
want to share
yes,
a room?
please. Brown, if you've got it.
Wait,
I don't mind sharing a room. I mean, I have a fairly large family. It's not uncommon to share rooms.
Okay.
How about the gentleman?
Here you go. Nezra, your ale gets slid down the table.
Do I need to make a dex check to catch it, or can I just catch it?
Nah, it's fine. You know it's coming.
Ah!
If you had upset him and he was being a jerk about it, I'd say maybe, but he was just casually sliding it over.
Nice.
He wasn't like trying to mess with you.
How's it taste? Is it decent ale?
How snobby is Nezra about their drink?
Not at all.
Okay, yeah, it's completely fine then. Honestly,
IPA.
honestly, like a step up, probably like one small step up from the typical inn fare.
Nice.
Tight.
Yeah.
Were you saying, Novin, you thought maybe the lads share a room then?
Yes, I was going to suggest that the gentlemen share a room and the ladies share a room as well. If that is acceptable, unless you all wish to partner up with specific people.
I am quite happy with that. Don't mind at all.
Don't really mind who I share a room
Fine.
with, but if that's what we're doing,
Get it settled.
Quick.
2 rooms then.
2 rooms.
All right.
Comes
let's
back.
See.
So,
Five
y'all
silver.
sorted it out. Got a little quieter over here.
2 rooms, please.
Very well. That'll be 1 gold piece. Did y'all need anything else to drink? The rest of you?
No,
I'll
thank
pop
you.
in 5 of the silver. And how much was the ale like?
2 silver pieces.
Right,
Uh,
so I'll
Nuvian
pop-
will give him a gold piece for the rooms.
I'll just pay for them.
He takes the gold piece and he like bites it, you know, like people do sometimes. And he's like, mighty kind of you.
Have you heard any rumors recently or tales of strange events?
He goes underneath the bar. You hear some jingling. He's messing with some keys. Picks up 2 of them, room 6 and room 3. Hands them to you. And he says, well, yeah, I suppose I hear some rumors here and there. What type of rumors were you looking for in particular?
A woman, specifically named Celebi.
Doesn't sound too familiar. Do you know, like, whereabouts in the city she makes her home at?
I do not. Separately, do you know anything about the supposed dragon riders?
Well, sure. I mean, I know a little bit. I guess most of the local Sebastian probably know a little bit. I mean, they're the ones who keep us safe. There were a couple of elves from the last Great War about 100 years ago. They were only about 50 at the time. They had a pair of bronze dragons that they said were a bit strange, even for bronze dragons, which I always found odd as the stories go, because to be quite honest with you, being a bronze dragon's rather strange to me to begin with. But they said that these dragons were pretty tough and that their breath powers really helped turn the tides of the war back in the day, being renowned elves capable of riding dragons. They develop a bond with their dragons, from what they say. It takes some time, but as such, they develop like a great trust for one another. And those are the two that you hear about the most. But there's a rider who is bonded with a silver dragon, and I think the other one is gold. That's what they say, anyways.
Do you have any information on the one with the silver dragon?
What type of information are you looking for?
If possible, I'd like to meet with this pair.
Well, you seem a lot tougher than me, but I don't know that that's going to be the easiest thing to do in the world. I don't know how often he meets with people because he's a elf that rides a large silver dragon. I guess if you could find your way up to the peaks, from what I hear, they tend to stay in relatively close proximity to each other up there.
Do you know their names?
Oh, well, actually, I don't know the name of the elf that rides him, but from what they say, the silver dragon is called Archon, the eldest amongst Exodore.
Thank you. You have been very helpful today.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
That helps out a
That
lot.
dragon's a legend.
Oh, what did he do?
Well, from what I hear, they're over 1,000 years old. That's mighty crazy in and of itself, if you ask me.
Not really. That's pretty normal.
Not around these parts.
Oh.
Nuvian wants to give him another gold piece. If you ever hear anything more about this silver dragon and other silver dragons, let me know, please.
Well, sure. Mighty interesting stories about, I'm sure.
Thank you. That helped out. He kind of, you can
Well,
see his,
you're welcome.
you can definitely see his tail has a little bit more of a pep of his step. And previously, before, from the previous occasion with Jonathan, it was definitely more almost like still. But now there's a little bit more happiness to it.
Well, do you all wish to prepare for bed, or are there other things you wish to do tonight?
I'm good, I think. You might be muted there, Nezra.
Yeah, I can see the old S mouth.
Oh.
He's like, oh.
Achilles, I was going to ask if you wanted to take a walk over to the I just blanked on the name of it. Let me look them up. The Yawning Tail. I do owe a guy a drink.
See, Achilles breaks into a big smile. Well, I suppose my arm could be twisted.
Take a walk.
This way, never see them again.
So you all take a walk on over to the yawning table.
Serena would like to join as well.
So everyone except for Nuvian and ICARA.
Yeah, I don't see us really going over there, right?
I don't think the Yawning Tail would have more knowledge on silver dragons. So no, they would. They
I'll
would
ask
probably
for
just
you
go.
then.
That would be wonderful.
Okay. Well, I think we should go ahead and take a short break. That seems like a good point. We'll say we'll do like 10 minutes.
Sounds good.
All right,
Sounds good to me.
Perfect.
All right, everyone. So thank everybody who's currently watching right now. We're going to take a 10-minute break. Unfortunately, I did not prepare a break screen. I only had a starting soon screen. So we'll be switching to the starting soon screen while we take our break, and then once we're finished, we'll come back. So we should be back 10 minutes from now.
It
It's
will
not a
not be a
lie.
lie. Once we start the break, we will be starting again soon.
Yes. That is correct. Thank you again. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll be right back.
All right.
All right, give me 1 second. Boop. All right, we are back. Uh-oh. What? Oh, my apologies. Wrong screen. Yep, there we go. Technical difficulties. Here we go. Yes, we are back. My apologies. As you can imagine, it's relatively late here on the West Coast as well. Oopsies.
Oh
Yes.
no.
Yes. But we're all good now.
Oh dear.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I switched to the wrong one. That's all.
Okay.
I had the previous one in place. Well, I
Oh,
hope
no.
I hope you all had a great break. Like I say, was able to stretch your legs, get some food, get some grub. I'll be honest, for those who have not followed my channel, I am king of the Uber Eats to the point to where I have a diamond slot there. So I had to go ahead and pick that food up relatively quickly. I make sure that you all will not hear any of my snacks on the side, so don't worry about your ears. Nevertheless, hope you all are having a great time enjoying our adventure as we start now for part 2. Pale Flames, take it away.
If you can do me a favor, I'm not going to
Sure.
stop game for it, but in the background, if you could switch me and Serena. So
Did it do it again?
Yeah.
Why does it keep doing that? Zoom, what is
So
wrong
we
with you?
have two choices. Either I'm an artificer now and Serena's him, or just in the background, just switch that up.
No
yeah.
worries, I can definitely make that change. Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
I gotta figure out
Thank
how.
you, sir.
No problem.
Thank you, sir. Okay. So, the three of you all go to this other bar that you were told about by Guard Dave, or Dave the Guard, as he's traditionally known. So you all head to the Yawning Tail. And as you make it to the door, the thing that strikes you the most at first is that it kind of smells.
Like a dive bar. Is that the smell?
Yeah, it definitely could be that.
Oh, I'm going to tap Achilles on his shoulder twice and activate as an action Mind Link. So I'm going to talk to him in his head and he can talk back to me. It's not a touch spell. He can't see, so I'm giving him a heads up. I'll be like, hey, Achilles, I was just wondering, I don't know why all of you were heading to Bastion other than the whole finding Celebi thing. Was there something you needed to do in the city?
Honestly, I'm mostly here trying to wait for word from Captain Marjoral Forerunner when the commander of the crossroads will be available, so we can pass on word about what happened out there back in Gilda. But until then, I am here, and I guess maybe this is where my path is taking me right now. So, but nothing in particular.
Very well. I'm just going to keep this up between us. So if you have something you want to tell me without saying it out loud, feel free.
Do I have anything to tell you? I really don't like pears. I mean, I was just being nice to the fella. They taste like wax. I don't understand why people like them.
I mean, I don't mind the taste, but like I said, I prefer my pears poached in I've seen like a sweet kind of sauce, liquid kind of thing. I don't particularly like the texture. A bit,
It's the texture, I just feel like I don't know, I'm biting into something waxy. I don't like it.
Excuse me, coming into the bar. Someone says as they move the two of you physically apart and walk
Do
through.
excuse me. Look past. Now, well, let's see if our friend. This is out loud. Oh, let's see if our friend David is here. I know he introduced himself as Dave, but I'm gonna keep calling him David until I'm told otherwise.
Okay. As you all walk inside the bar, there are 3 different groups of people playing cards, 2 different groups of people shooting dice, and there is a few women of the oldest profession, as Achilles had referred to them earlier, who appear to be walking around, and not being very discreet about their profession at all.
Do I see my guard friend yet?
You do. He is shooting.
Useful in the useless in the
Yeah,
most.
Dave the guard is currently shooting dice.
I'm going to go to the bar and get a drink and have a drink sent over, like just a cheap ale. Not promising him anything nice. Are there any empty tables?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna try and eavesdrop a bit. Is my goal
on Dave?
On the room in general.
Okay.
I was wondering, because it doesn't specifically state this or anything, but I do have the rustic hospitality feature, which is more like common people like me kind of stuff. Would that apply in this dive bar?
Yeah, probably. I mean, what sort of asshole isn't kind to a blind man?
I mean, you'd be surprised. There's probably a lot.
Maybe Dave. Find out on the next addendum. So go ahead and roll me a generalized perception check, Nezra, unless you want to use your passive.
Let me see. I'll roll one just in case. My passive is 14, in case you were curious, but I will go ahead and roll it because I am actively trying to eavesdrop.
Alrighty.
That's going to be a 15. So just slightly better than my passive.
The first thing you pick up on is, God damn it, Snake Eyes again, from your buddy Dave, who's currently shooting dice. He's like, that's 5 gold tonight I lost already. I'm cutting into my savings here. This is ridiculous. And then his beer shows up, and he's like, free beer? There's no way it... Hey! You're true to your word. That's awesome. I don't meet a lot of people that are true to their word like that. And you can see Dave's energy level is much, much different. And he's like, you should come play dice.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm just like calling across the room because I'm sitting, not directly next to him, I would imagine.
Yeah, you're probably like two tables away.
I'm not very good at games of chance, but best of luck.
Hey, I gotta go talk to my friend, Nezra. I gotta go talk to my friend Nezra. I'll be back. And he comes over and he sits down in front of you with the beer that you had just bought him, and he's like, I'm not going back. That guy's a cheat. Fuck that guy.
Well, I find that most people who are playing games of dice tend to have a way to win.
That's terrible. It's about the game of chance. Oh, I cheat sometimes too. I forgot my dice at home, to be honest with you.
Well,
I'm not addicted though. I can stop whenever I want.
I've also heard people say that.
You sure you don't want to play dice?
What I would love is to just have a little chat with you, see how things are going. How was
Well, you're definitely one of the most interesting people that I met today. I will say that much. But I think it's going pretty well. I just got paid. I just lost a lot of it. But it's still cool that I got paid today, I guess, in a manner of speaking. I'll probably win it back tomorrow. It's not a huge deal. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. I delivered the message I was supposed to deliver. Now we're going to be going to some orchard. You wouldn't happen to know the hold on. Haranda. There we go. This is why I keep notes. The Haranda apple orchard to the west of town.
Orchard. I'm more of a pear guy myself. I don't really care about no apples.
To each their own, I suppose.
Yeah, my buddy Thomas, he's a peach kind of person. and I'm just like, come on, man. You know?
I mean,
You know what
it's
I
amazing.
mean?
Fantastic. Yes, people with their taste buds.
Whew. You ever been a city guard though? Man, that is a tough job.
Too tough. And I'm going to continue to just egg him on as much as possible until I feel like I've gotten as much as he knows.
Yeah, he says, well, you hear a lot of stuff, but you don't care too much about it. And then you got to meet a lot of people, but quite frankly, you don't care about a lot of them either. And so it's really, being a guard, honestly, it feels a little bit more like acting. Like, I think I could have been one of them fancy folks on stage, like being an actor, like pretending to be a king and whatnot. If I, had wanted to. But what were we talking about? Oh, the orchard.
Did you want to?
Yeah, what?
Did you want to be an actor?
Did I want to be an actor? Well, no.
Oh, that was very good.
Was it?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Did you need another ale? And I will get him another ale.
Okay. And he starts drinking that one, and he's like, I haven't heard too much about the orchard, except that their apples are magical.
Like,
Seemed
delicious?
a bit odd to me. Well, yeah, I figure, but it seemed like a bit odd to me because, like, a normal person would just be like, they're delicious, right? I mean, what do you mean they're magical? Like, are you trying to get with the apple or something? Ooh, you're magic. I don't know. It's just kind of like weird phrasing, you know?
Yeah, I do know. Yeah, I heard a rumor. Maybe you can tell me if you heard about this rumor that there was
I heard a rumor.
Yeah.
And the rumor is
Lorn, Lorn. There's a city. Have you heard of it?
Erlorn.
Erlorn.
The city
The person I
went-
heard about it didn't know how it was said either.
The city that went.
What happened?
Well, it exploded
That's not usual.
in a pear-shaped explosion. See, I keep saying they're better.
Are you certain it wasn't magic apple shaped?
No.
But there were dragon riders there. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're pretty cool. They have dragons and they fly like, and they I don't actually think those dragons have fire, but they've got like breath that destroys stuff, and it's pretty cool. But from what I hear, the riders themselves are some pretty fierce warriors as well, you know?
Elves.
Well, I guess they were some pretty fierce elves before they got blown up.
2 of them.
Yeah, not all of the dragon riders are elves though.
Oh, so the elves.
One
were the
of
ones who
them
died.
is supposed to be a human.
Oh, that is big news. The human dragon
Mhm.
rider.
Yep, the gold guy. But nobody knows his name
Oh.
or his dragon's name. Which
You know,
begs the question, what are they up to, you know?
Yeah.
Why doesn't
Yeah,
anybody
definitely.
know their names?
Do you know any of their names?
Well,
Any
sure.
of the riders or the dragons?
Well, sure. The ones that got killed,
Oh, you know their names.
their names were Valerie and Valerio, which I think is stupid because one's a guy and one's a girl, but their names are like basically the same. I mean, how are you supposed to tell them apart?
I think it's the vowel sounds.
Oh,
So Valerie and Valerio were the writers.
yeah. Barino and Basir de let me write it down
Abbas.
for you.
Yeah.
And he writes Besero. Something like that.
Becero.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
what was the other one?
Barino.
Arano.
Yeah, like a bear in the woods.
A bear and a no.
You know? Mm-hmm.
Explosion, dragons. Hey, do you know a person named Celebi? I was looking for them.
A person named Celebi?
Hmm.
Is
It's
this
kind
a
of an unusual name.
friend of yours?
Well, I haven't actually met them yet. I was looking for them. You see.
I feel a little sorry for your friend if their name is Celebi.
Why?
It kind of sounds like a dog's name a little bit, you know?
Like Dave.
Who would name a dog Dave? Dave the dog. Dave the dog. You know?
No, Steve!
More existential crisis achieved.
No. I think it's Nezra, the one who gives NPCs this
You know,
You
this is the
know,
first
I
time I've ever
think-
played a face. I'm loving it. It's just like,
I
hey,
think
ugh.
I think nobody would name a dog Dave.
Mm.
That's stupid. You name a dog like Spark or something.
Or Celebi, apparently. So you don't know
Yeah.
Celebi, the dog or the person.
No. Is it a dog or a person?
It's a person. She is a
Okay.
person. Celebi.
Okay. Well, mighty sorry to the miss and person.
Mm.
But
Mm.
no, I didn't heard of her.
Mind Link, I'm gonna ask Achilles. Should I
Yeah.
ask about Elia, or do you think there's a lost cause here?
Well, I mean, sure, you can if you like. While this is all happening, Achilles would actually like to be finding one of those women of the oldest persuasion because he wants to get information from people who meet everybody.
Okay. There's how would Achilles go about deciding which one he wants to speak with? Like, what would he try to have Catherine observe about them that might pique his interest?
The one who he's actually looking for one who looks like she might be pickpocketing from
Ooh.
patrons.
Go ahead and roll me a.
Sure wish I had guidance, but I don't. Still, that's pretty good.
We'll say perception.
So it's 17.
You do not notice any of them pickpocketing. That does not mean that they're not, but you don't see any pickpocketing.
All right. Which of them seems to be the chattiest then?
There is actually a redheaded woman who seems to be fairly chatty. She's making it a point to talk to every man that's been gambling.
Achilles will speak to the bartender and say, what do you have that's a little bit more expensive? Not crazy like, but a little bit more expensive.
He looks around at like the establishment that he runs, kind of like, what do you mean expensive? And then he looks back to you and he's like, well, we've got some whiskey that's about $1 gold a shot.
Sounds about good. How about you pour me a shot, and you send a shot over to that lovely woman over there, and maybe leave. How much is a bottle?
About 15 gold.
You know what? Maybe it's worth it. I'm not sure. Sure. Why not?
Roll me a persuasion check, because you are in your environment amongst
Yes.
well, not your people, but
Not great.
so
It's
higher
only
than
an 8.
10. No, okay.
Or no?
He's like, all right,
10.
it's 10.
It's a 10.
Okay.
Exactly.
He says, "I'll tell you what. You
Yeah.
seem like an honest, hardworking guy. I'll sell it to you for 12 gold."
All right, you've got a deal. Hopefully, I'm allowed to take it with me when I leave. Although maybe, I mean, is the right to carry it out? I don't really know about the city laws here.
Do I look like a snitch one way or the other?
My man. All right, sounds good.
All right.
So, we'll send that shot over, and then Keenis will just be leaning against the bar with the other shot in his hand and point towards the bottle of whiskey that is next to him.
Okay. So you pay him the 12 gold?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, he gets a bottle for you from the back, pours a shot for you, pours another one. He carries it over personally, and you see that they have a 2-minute conversation, which doesn't surprise you because in watching the woman, she is like the type of person who seems highly charismatic and tries to have like an hour-long conversation with every man in here in 2 minutes. You know, just very sort
That's
of.
That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
If anybody knows anything, it's ladies of the night.
And so he brings
Or
it up,
gentlemen of the night too, I guess.
and she places a hand on his shoulder. She laughs. She's smiling at him, and she walks over after taking the shot, and comes over to you, and she's like, "Well, it appears that my shot glass is empty, and you come highly recommended."
Thank you, my dear. I mean, I have heard as much from people around, and yeah, feel free. He pours her another shot. I'm Achilles, and what would be your name, my dear?
My name is Maria.
Well, it is both an honor and a pleasure to meet you, Maria. I was just thinking that
And
you look
that's-
like you're working far too hard this evening.
It feels that way sometimes, doesn't it? I should tell you, Maria is my real name.
I never doubted it for a minute.
I'm just saying, if you come looking for me again and you ask for Maria, he won't find me.
Understood. Well, I am always down for a bit of pleasant conversation, to be honest. And, I appreciate people who are good with people and like to talk.
What is one of your favorite conversational topics?
Well, to be honest, fairly new in town, but I have been hearing a fair bit about this city that just up and exploded recently.
I heard about it.
Now, I imagine you speak to a lot of people in a day, potentially, and you seem like an affable kind of person that might be able to relay a bit of information that others might not know.
Maybe. What do you want to know?
Well, does anyone have an idea what actually made the place go kaboom?
From what they say, a heavy discharge of some unknown magic.
That sounds troubling.
I talked to a wizard about a day ago who felt a sense that something off was coming. And he happened to be competent enough to activate a teleportation spell of sorts. I don't entirely know how it works. But he made his way from Bastion, saying that there was no good unknown magic going on there. Wouldn't you know it, the next day we start hearing about how the place exploded.
That is interesting. Well, something that's also struck me a wee bit odd, and haven't been in the city for long, as I said, but we're also trying to help somebody find a lost daughter recently. I don't know if you've heard about other folks going missing at all up by the Haranda Orchard area.
Haven't heard too much about that, but you must be talking about the Myrner girl, right?
I am, actually, yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know. Yes?
I was saying you wouldn't happen to have met the girl by any chance at any stage, or anyone she might have come to contact with.
I have not. And I haven't met her father either. But I have met some people. Not to be spreading rumors, but that happen to be friends of her father.
Well, that sounds like it might be worth my while hearing, and I would be more than happy to indulge your usual service price for said information.
You want to know about the friends of her father?
Potentially, yes. If a girl is missing, and if the friends of her father maybe aren't so friendly, that might be somewhere to look.
Might be. Have you been to the orchard?
Not yet. That's our stop in the morning.
It's a rather nice place. I've been myself once, actually. Well, certainly I can't go telling on all of my clients, but, in my line of work, it's not that every man you meet will be one who is doing the type of things that a man of his station or status should be doing.
Well, behind closed doors and all that.
A necessity of the position, as it were. Roll an insight check.
Sure. Nope. That is an 11.
Okay. Yeah, no, she's just talking to you. Seems like she's trying to be honest and as forthwith as she can without, telling you the names of all of the men that have come here.
Yeah. So,
sorry, I think that we'd be at about the same time in our conversations. Can I mind link to him? Hey, David says something about magic apples. If you want to ask your new friend. Also, looks like you're having a great time. Don't give me any of that whiskey, thank you.
Are you sure it's not bad? It's not horrible. It's not amazing, but it's not bad.
Not really my gig, but have fun.
All right.
I'll make sure you make it home if you have too much.
So, the orchard itself, folks are saying that the apples are magical or some such.
Maybe. From what I've heard, they're rather tasty.
So folks keep saying. Well, I don't want to take up your entire evening, but as I said, I will pay you for your service today.
Seems like a rather a lot of hullabaloo over some apples, if you ask me. And you can consider that my time, she takes the bottle of whiskey and pours a shot, sets it back down, has already been paid for. And then she takes the shot.
You are lovely, and I will definitely be making your company again in the city. I'd like a nice bit of conversation.
She nods and then gives you like not like a come on, but if you are familiar with what I'm talking about, like a friendly sort of pat on the shoulder as she's passing by, and then goes back to start talking with people. Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's keeping up the appearance of, hey, I just made a new client. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, I'll mind link back to Nizar there. Well, Some people seem to have known that the city was going to explode before it exploded, and it's quite possible that our nobleman's father's friends have some shady business dealings. Maybe so it might be something to look into. But I think that's about all that I can get.
Yes, I'm really not sure if I, and then you hear out loud from a thing, no, I really don't want to play any dice. And then back in your mind, I think I've just about tapped out here as well.
All right, I'll walk on up to her and say out loud, you know, I'm actually feeling a bit sick there, like Nezra. I think, would you mind getting me home?
David, it's been wonderful. I hope to see you around sometime soon.
I certainly hope that I'll be seeing you too, and maybe next time you and I can play some dice.
Next time you're buying the drinks then.
That seems fair enough to me. Yeah.
Right. Okay then. I will settle up with the barkeep. I owe him 3 ales.
Okay. 6 silver pieces. As you leave, Dave goes back over to the other guy, literally slaps onto the table and is like, that is a mighty fine girl right there. Now, I'll tell you what. It's time to get back to dice. 2 gold pieces. Let's go.
What did Serena do during all of this?
We were just gonna get to that. What did Serena want to be doing?
Serena would have been playing cards or dice, actually.
Okay.
Nice.
So how much gold would Serena be willing to bet?
We're gonna go with a nice 20 gold.
Damn.
So you see that by the time you all have finished your conversations, you catch eye of Serena, and you walk over to her, and you realize that she has like a pile of gold on the table in front of her. Like an actual pile. And you're not really sure what happened, but apparently she just like took home during these matches of cards, and all of the other people that were playing cards, even though there's plenty of time left in the night, have all gone home. They've all just been left. Literally all 3 tables of people playing cards are gone.
Well then, it looks like you cleaned up.
I had a wonderful time. Everybody was lovely. They went home after a while, so.
Serena, for your knowledge, you made 30 gold. In profit.
Nice. See, and people give dens of ill repute a bad name, and I think we all had a lovely evening.
Yeah, this place was wonderful. We should come again.
Some of us better than others, but yeah, it was fine.
shall we head on back then?
Yes.
Serena's dicing check was a natural 20, by the way.
I didn't want to say
Or
anything, but
the-
the minute you said it was a pile of gold, I was like, oh, that's definitely a natural 20. That was definitely a natural 20.
Yep. You can't just hand gold out to your players all the time, but sometimes the universe says give them gold.
Indeed.
Yeah. Serena cleans up on cards. You have some interesting for different reasons conversations with a couple of people over at the Awning Tail. And then you all return to the other inn, the Rope Homestead, to bed down for the evening and complete a long rest.
We definitely share all of that information with everyone.
Mm-hmm. And as you all go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, shortly after sunrise, and that seems like a good place to end our story for the evening.
And Bastion also explodes. No, wait, what?
Hey, don't you think that Dave has had a hard enough life? Now you want his city to explode on him?
He's like, now I
Dave,
have to care.
Jonathan,
Now I have to care
all the
about stuff. All right. Well,
This is
All
how you
the
know it's
fruit.
good D&D is because you don't want to stop, even though it's been like 4 hours.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming by, for taking a look at our stream. We appreciate it. If you guys like what you saw, definitely give us a follow. If you want to talk about what happened on our stream, you can join my Discord. The Discord link has a section that talks about the non-spoiler section. We also have a spoiler section, as well as if you're an artist and want to dig into some of the fine art, fan art for some of our characters. We'll welcome all of that content in place. We'll be streaming, of course, again next Saturday at the same time, 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then, of course, other time frames for wherever you may be. So once again, thank you all for coming by for the stream. We look forward to see you all again next week. Hope you all had a great time. Take care. Farewell for now.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.